I'm here today with Mirta Gonzalez, the General Manager of Education and Participation at AMES Australia. Mirta, thank you so much for interviewing with me today. I'm really excited about this chat because you and I have been working on this partnership for a year and a half since we started the pilot program and how it's evolved into what it is. Maybe we start with an intro to yourself, your role at AMES Australia and the critical role AMES Australia plays.
Thank you, Balendrand. So my name is Mirta Gonzalez. I'm the General Manager of Education and Social Participation here at AMES Australia. And as you know, AMES Australia is an organization that has been around for a very long time. We've been assisting newly arrived people to Australia for over 75 years now. And how we do that is through what we call settlement services. And our settlement services provide everything from practical assistance to helping people develop the skills and the vocational skills and the English language to be able to gain employment in Australia and to fully participate in Australian life and in Australian society.
I am a recipient of some of the amazing work you do. 22 years ago, it feels like yesterday, but I ended up in a classroom in Burwood, Sydney. So the work you do is really impactful. So what's your role within AMES Australia?
I'm part of the executive team at AMES Australia, and we, together with my colleagues, we ensure that we follow the direction of the strategies that we have set up for the organization. And obviously what we want is fundamentally successful settlement outcomes for our clients.
Absolutely amazing. I've witnessed your work and through the partnership and the journey we've been on, I can see the commitment and the entire team is working to really help the community, right? That's coming through in my everyday conversation with everyone across the company. So the AI as a technology is fantastic. When we started this partnership, what were some of the motivations for you to look at AI as a strategic tool?
So we were looking at innovation. We're always looking at innovation at AMES Australia. It's in our DNA, so to speak. So AI was a new opportunity that we're seeing. I still didn't have a very firm idea on how it could assist us, but when I had the first conversations with you, Balendrand, I was really inspired. I felt sparks of recognition and pure alignment between what your company was seeking to do and what AMES Australia had been doing for 75 years. And the product that you were offering, when I was looking at the needs of our clients, was unique. And I thought that it could magnify and augment the impact that we were having through our education programs.
So when a company like AMES Australia has been serving the Australian community for 75 years, sometimes you don't see them innovating because the status quo is fine. But what I've noticed is that AMES Australia has been innovating for a long time. Yes. So what is it about AMES Australia that keeps innovating and keeps looking for new solutions?
Well, I think that one of the most fundamental things is that we have a deep connection with community and with people who are newly arrived in Australia. And what we do is we listen to their needs. And we know that the needs for people to have accelerated learning, to get a job, to be able to establish themselves in Australia is absolutely essential. So by listening to our clients, we have a deep understanding of their journey and what they require.
We recently introduced the language translation feature to support low-level learners. In the early days, as you said, some of the clients we had on the app, they had enough English language skills, so they could utilize the app because they could read and follow the instructions. But the low-level learners couldn't use the app because they couldn't even read the instructions because their reading skills weren't quite there. Now I can see as soon as we introduced 5 languages, the uptake and the engagement with the app has gone to another level. So it's obvious that it's adding value and then bringing more people to the app.
Yes.
It's fantastic. Now, interview ready, you touched on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's fantastic, it's dynamic. So how is it actually helping AMES Australia clients find work faster or land the jobs they dream?
So what Interview Ready does is it allows our clients to practice with a simulated human interviewer, real life questions about a particular job that they're applying for. AI functionality that provides real-time feedback in terms of expression, speed, the quality of the responses that the client gives, etc. So that really is almost like having a coach in front of you, really helping you to prepare for an interview.
So I can imagine a tool like MyAMES Chat app saving time for teachers because they can now focus on more intellectual work, assessing students' capabilities instead of teaching them mundane tasks like pronunciation and vocabulary. How does it actually save time, teacher time?
Well, we've got a pool of really experienced educators at AMES who have worked with people from culturally diverse backgrounds and really are very experienced in that space. But what happens is that sometimes they can't dedicate all the time in the classroom that they would like to have for the students, because obviously there's limited hours and limited time. And what the app has allowed them to do is to actually give the students specific exercises where they continue to practice on their perhaps their weaknesses or the areas where they need more practice in their own time. And it allows for the teachers to become more creative around the exercises that they come up with, to focus on the individual students more. But this allows them to follow up individual students and follow up their progress as well. So the teacher keeps on getting that feedback and seeing how they're being impactful on the students' developing of language and communication.
That's fantastic. My next question is, at the organizational level, change is hard. So you had to really work with all of the key stakeholders within AMES Australia on this AI rollout. How did you go about this? I think it's important for the listeners to understand, implementing AI sounds really simple, but there's so many parts to it. Change management is core, the mindset. How did you approach it?
So I guess that the first point is always having that courage to initiate change and to be courageous enough to test something new, try something new. The other thing is to actually highlight to the different stakeholders, and like you say, there are many stakeholders in this space, but it's about communicating to the stakeholders what are the benefits on almost a 360-degree perspective. So for the executive, it was about seeing how this could magnify the work and the impact that we have. For the teaching staff, it was to actually convey to them, and you played an enormous role in that space as well, is to convey to them the benefits and the potential benefits for themselves and for their clients. And in terms of the board, it was once we tested the ground and they started to see some of the results, it was really a good opportunity to share with them how the students were engaging with the tool and also how teachers were engaging with the tool. So those are some of the examples. But for me, the other important aspect is in a much broader context, is how us having engaged with this innovation is impacting on how other external stakeholders see us. Like, for example, funding bodies, because it gives us the opportunity to tell them that we are innovating and we are going to make bigger returns on their investment.
Of course, AI creates efficiencies once you have enough data, once you can verify there's efficiencies. I can imagine that playing into all of your tenders and your funding strategy as well. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, for us, it's the way we see it is a unique opportunity to say to government through our applications for tenders and grants, is to say, look, we can give you a bigger return on your investment. For outcomes are absolutely critical, and if we can demonstrate that clients get better outcomes through the introduction of the app and through the use of the app, it positions us in a much better, much more positive way. So it gives us that opportunity, but it also gives us opportunity to explore other partnerships and other areas, and that's where we are at now. What other partnerships can we establish, and how else can we use AI in the organization to maximize our impact?
That's fantastic. I can already give you 2 or 3 examples of businesses that are, large contracts that are emerging in Germany, in Mexico, because of the work we've done. Thank you so much for that. The last thing is that because now MyAMES Chat app represents AMES Australia on the App Store and Google Play, all the clients who are using the app, they're using the AMES Australia branded app. That I can imagine that's a marketing tool as well, because you have now access to an app powered by AI without you building it. I think it's the optics as well.
Absolutely, and we're very grateful for that opportunity to have our name out there. We want to remain relevant to our communities.
Absolutely, and then the digital literacy is a key part of it as well, because now they're experiencing these capabilities on a mobile phone through the app. I'm imagining that's also part of your strategy, because a lot of the new arrivals and skilled migrants as well, they probably don't have as much digital literacy.
It's really interesting because digital literacy has been added to foundation skills now, and what the app, introducing the app does is that it has a dual purpose. People are learning English, people are learning basic skills, but they're also learning digital skills at the same time. So it's the impact on their actual real lives that is the most powerful thing.
Fantastic. That's all I had in terms of questions to ask you. Thank you for being part of this interview, Mirta. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And thank you, Balendrand, for giving me the opportunity to discuss the insights that we have gained at AMES.